Hey, everybody. Good evening. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Welcome, welcome,
Yes,
welcome to another episode of Let's Get Into It. How you doing today, Mace?
I'm doing well. It's just sweating a little bit, but I think I'm gonna be a survivor.
You gonna be surviving tonight?
Yes, how's everybody doing?
How
Hey,
the
Chris. Hey,
Chris,
J. Rucker.
Maxine,
Hey, Yvette.
and Cleo? Thank y'all for joining us on time. We appreciate y'all. This has been a really explosive episode, so I'm actually glad to
Before
get
we
into
get into
it.
the episode, I just want to give a quick shout out to Thick Girl, cause her live. I was on her live yesterday, and it was really good. We had fun.
Good. So, what was the live about?
She did a mix. She did a mixed topics about a bunch of shows. She talked about P Valley. Everybody, commented, and then they discussed certain different topics and shows.
Good.
So we had a good time yesterday.
Shout out to Thick Girl. Make sure y'all go like, comment, and
Hey,
subscribe.
Cleo.
So let's get into the stuff that don't matter first, and then we're gonna get into the other stuff. Let's start with Quad and Simone meeting up. I thought it was cute that Quad was on time
Right.
because
Finally.
she is notoriously always making these ladies wait, and I think that they finally got the point to her that she needs to be on time.
I think they didn't get the point to it. I think she just trying to, show something different. She trying to, keep her job because,
Yeah.
she's not married to medicine or nobody else.
So at least be on time because the same thing happens with Robin on Potomac. Like if you don't
Mhm.
take that time to get ready, at least look good when you get
Well, at
there.
least Quad come looking good. At least she take the time. But Robin, she has no excuse to be late.
Hey Nola,
Ain't no lie.
hope all is well. So what I
Yeah,
took
Nola
away
was
from
hosting with her too. So Deb, Nola, and the Candy Shop. So she had them up there.
everybody came on last night.
Yeah, they was all hosting with her on
Okay.
her for her first live. So it was really
Okay.
good.
Oh, that was the first live.
Yeah, that was her first live that she ever did.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, congratulations for getting out there and doing it on your own.
yeah.
You gotta get out there and do it for yourself and just
Hmm.
throw caution to the wind. Hey Kimmy. So what I took away from the conversation with Quad and Simone is the little nephew. I don't know if he gonna grow up to be controlling or what, but how old is he talking about? Let me know when you get ready to come to the house and all this other stuff. Like
That's why I said that ain't no 6-year-old. That boy, that little boy done been here before.
he look like he been here before. He just gives baby dad baby dad.
He just give old
Old
Memphis
man,
man.
like granddaddy. Like when he was talking, he sounded old. Like when he was talking, like an old country bumpkin. Like
Yeah, that is an old Memphis man. That was
Quiet. I don't know if she has full custody, but you might want to get a handle on that controlling this. When you see it as a child, you might want to try to fix that.
because I knew when he rolled in there and with the cereal, she had to check him real quick. When he rolled with the cereal, I was like, "Oh, Mason ain't no joke. Mason,
He ain't. Talk about.
he had to tell you what you want."
I
And
would ask my mama to let me know when she about to head to the house. My mama would look at me like,
Mason, like, look, because this is our house now, so you let me know.
he realized he paying bills. Like he got to know where everybody at and people.
Well, you never know. Mason, like, shoot, I worked hard at school.
And
He didn't want to be on the bus. He was like, those people crazy.
I mean, he gives like he paying somebody bills or something. Like he working long hours and he just want to make sure everybody know where they at. So Simone, other than that, Simone's so happy her son got a girlfriend. She don't know what to do. She tell everybody. Her name is Andrea, and she's the Asian lady that we see last week.
We got to make sure we pronounce it right, Andrea.
Black people say Andrea because I have a friend named Andrea, and that's what I always called her. I don't call her Andrea.
Because it's Andrea, and Andrea. See, her name is Andrea. See, it's the IA. The other ones have.
There is no I. It's ANDREA.
No, but Andrea. I have a friend named Andrea, but she spells it with the last is the IA. It's not a and she calls it Andrea, and she will correct you. And she is Caucasian. And when you say like Andrea, she'll be like, it's Andrea. Like I guess that's
nobody said people in the South we're gonna say Andrea.
I guess that's because she's. I'm just happy her name ain't Lisa Wu or Jimmy Choo or Mei Lin or something like that. It's
last time might be like that, but I guess when you are like second, third, fourth generation,
he has to be third or fourth generation, because usually even the second generation they still got the names.
They be keeping their names, but maybe this new generation is
Yuck You and stuff like that. Because I know somebody named Yuck You,
but who am I to judge? So moving on to the next scene, Toya and Contessa sitting at the house, upset, complaining.
See, I took notes on this. Like,
Toya feels, I guess she's feeling unfulfilled, or I don't know what she's feeling, but she has to go get self-care because I guess she's worked too hard. I don't know.
But like Contessa said, girl, your life is self-care. Like, girl, and you have the nerves and the audacity talking about Eugene doesn't know what he likes or whatever like that. Because he ain't got time to know what he like, girl. He's sitting there working, paying off the debts that you're putting him in. You're going to work that man to early grade. And I think Eugene needs to really look at this, because like all that hard work, you becoming a physician. Like, as a Black man, becoming a physician and a respected doctor, you married someone not of means, like probably, like he probably didn't, because usually men like that, they would find women that's a little well-groomed and have a pedigree. She doesn't, so she's not used to money, so she's just spending it, and she's trying to do what she think money looks like. She thinks like, I should have a wine budget, I should have a wine cellar, because this is what rich people do, and I am rich now. You know what I'm saying? This is what she's doing, but she's going to do that to where he's going to be in debt for the rest of his life, and he's going to be working for the rest of his life. You're going to work that man into an early grade. You're already moved down the block out of your dream house. You went down the block
to rent
a house. So obviously you're in some type of debt if you had to sell that house. Stop lying.
The way they explained it was the reason why they sold their dream home was because they received more money than they invested into the home. My thing is this: houses are going to increase in value, so there's no way I'm going to buy a home. And even if I got maybe it depends on how good the offer was, but I wouldn't pack up my home in just 2 years
and move down the block. That's a bold-faced lie. That's allegedly a lie, because that don't make any sense. Like. That don't make any sense. That's the lie she's telling. Like, that's some bullshit that Todd came. That's a mess. And you're lying. You're gonna work this man into an early grade. He don't even have time to think about what he likes because he's too busy working. How he gonna figure out what he like?
Is it me, or has Eugene lost a lot of weight? It seemed like
he's stressed the hell out.
It don't seem like he lost a little bit of weight to me. Like maybe 50 pounds.
Yeah, because even during the COVID, the season that they did last season, he came in, that man looked depleted. And I know a lot of people that was working in healthcare, they had a lot of stress on them because they seen people die at a rate they never seen. Like, working in a hospital, you see death, but not at that rate. So that's crazy.
And your coworkers and all those laws and rules that happened right after COVID that medical workers had to conform to, like all of a sudden. So it was, I'm not a doctor, but I can attest to how stressful and how a lot of times medical healthcare workers need a break because they see so much on a daily basis. You'd be surprised.
It was so many doctors and nurses committing, unlifing themselves. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot.
Not unliking themselves.
I said unlifing.
I just said unliking.
Unlifing.
Well, I'm not gonna laugh at that, but
no, there was a lot of them that was unlifing themselves, like because of what they seen, because they never saw that at that capacity, So they were really depressed. Like, because I know it was 2 nurses up here in New York, and it was very sad. So and that man came back depleted, and you sitting there worried about him cooking food, and you didn't even have no food ready for this man. It was just so sad. And I'm like, Eugene is
and
just.
then she had the nerve and the audacity to tell him to leave her some coffee. Let this man have as much coffee as he need. He the only one going to work and paying for all this stuff. Let this man have some coffee. Leave me some.
And then he probably want to cheat. He probably just can't afford to.
He ain't got no time to cheat. He ain't got no time. Like
he don't got time and he don't got the money because he paying back bills. He's like, because when you cheat, you gonna have to pay a little bit. Something.
I'm not saying they're in debt, but to me, that excuse of we received more money and that's why we moved down the street and got a rental doesn't make all that much sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense. I believe that's a bold-faced lie.
You built it from the ground up. Kimmy says she's so busy trying to look rich, she ain't thinking about becoming wealthy. Yes, you can find you a really nice 4 to 5 bedroom home that is not as extravagant as that, but it's a very nice home, and you'll be able to save a little bit more money instead of paying $2,000 to $3,000. I don't know how much you pay in the mortgage. I know it's more than that probably.
Yeah, but I feel bad for him because all his hard work, give him about 10 to 15 years. All your hard work, because you working as a doctor, is going to go out the window because you're going to be in debt and destitute, messing around with Toya. And she buying them tacky outfits. Like, at least, like, and it's so true. Like, people that are billionaires, that are rich, you wouldn't even know that they're rich. And even
it's
if
a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing.
And even if they do have on Gucci and they have on Prada and certain outfits and certain brand and names like that, they're not plastered all over like Dior, Gucci, Prada, Chanel. They don't even do that. They wear certain, because I knew a girl, she had a button-down blouse. It was a nice blouse, but it didn't look all that. The blouse was like $3,000, but it didn't say Prada or everything all over it. They don't wear their labels like that. Like, and they don't shop like that. Like you think like wealthy people shop. They don't.
Mm-hmm. Not the ones that's trying to keep their money.
Right, because that Toya, Eugene,
it's a cultural thing, and they admitted that they are first generation of wealth. But that's how long you gonna use that excuse. It don't take a genius to know how to save. It don't take a genius to know, hey, maybe let's not sell our home that we actually built to go into a rental. Like, and then you're gonna be moving again. You're moving every season or every other season. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look. You never had the same house. And that's got to be unstable for the kids, constantly moving. And you're kind of spoiling them, feeling like they need a mansion when really they can get them a nice house.
Yeah, they're going to say the house wasn't big enough. No, because she made that. Didn't she say, if I'm not mistaken, the house wasn't
big enough for 4 people.
So you moved to a smaller one if that one wasn't big enough?
Well, I think this rental is temporary because they bought another plot of land and they're going to build another house.
At this point, since she likes to build houses, she maybe should invest and probably go to the contracting school down with Martell and become a contractor since she likes to build houses.
Well, I mean, that would require work and effort. If that's not what Toya wants to do, that's not.
Poor Eugene. I feel sorry for Eugene because he's going to become bitter. And it's going to show on the end. Like, he's going to, like, how much can he take? Like,
he already losing weight. Eugene said, Nola says Eugene is tired and may still forget he had to come home and cook after COVID too, remember?
Yeah, that's what I said. He had to come home and cook. Like,
what was she doing all day?
And then she was complaining, like, girl, this man is out there in the trenches putting his life on the line. And you're sitting there complaining. If anything, you should have had the bath running for him to come home and immediately get in the shower, rub his foot a little bit, give him a little glass of Merlot, give him something to eat so you could continue. So you wouldn't feel so, because like I would feel kind of guilty that I'm just sitting there spending this man money, not bringing nothing in to, to build our wealth. And I'm sitting there talking about, well, you ain't going to cook? He just did a double shift during COVID. Watching how many people die, and you're not gonna cook, like, girl.
At least contribute. Nola says I would have left Toya a long time ago. I think he is at his breaking point.
He's gonna end up probably just leaving her, and she's gonna be stuck in shock, like. But because
the only reason why he hasn't cheated is probably because sometimes it's just not in your DNA.
I don't think it is. And then when I saw his mother, I understood why he is the way he is a little bit.
I just feel like other than that, he would have probably cheated already.
And then he also said about his mother and father's dynamic. He said that his father basically was very controlling. I don't know if it was an abusive situation, but he did get a little emotional with it.
A lot of times controlling does become abusive.
And he was saying like how his mom everything had to be ran by his father. His father basically ran the house, with a tight ship. So maybe he's seeing that growth. Either you lean towards that or go the complete opposite. And I think he just went the complete opposite and just let me let my wife do what she wants because I couldn't help my mother.
No, I think it's really, let's be clear. I don't think Toya would be with Eugene if he wasn't a doctor.
No, of course not.
So I think he feels like, well, I'm not saying he just lowly and destitute and, he can't get nobody, but, maybe his self-esteem wasn't where it was when they met, and because he was in med school or whatever, he was able to pull the pretty girl that, that he probably always wanted, and he just probably want to keep her.
Yeah, but that was a pretty ghetto girl.
That's what they said. I'm just putting my theories out there.
Yeah, but I believe so too. But I think he also watched his mother like have to ask for stuff, and not probably get what she wanted. And a lot of times as men, they want to do for their mothers. Your mother's your first love, like especially as men. So when you feel like you couldn't do that for your mother, sometimes you spoil the wife. Like I don't want my wife to go through what my mother went through. I will never allow that. And maybe that's why he works so hard. Like, well, she'll keep spending the money and I'll just keep working to take care of you. If I got to work 26 hours a day, Jesus, just add those 2 hours in because I'm going to work it.
Yvette, I don't know if testosterone injections have anything to do with the weight loss. I think it's more of the stress of him having to pay all those bills.
He can't testosterone injection.
He was you remember Toya was giving him his testosterone injections.
Oh, yeah, that was, before.
And while we on that topic, Heavenly said he was acting like a woman. We was talking about how y'all, what's it called? Emasculate black men whenever y'all get mad. So Heavenly called him a woman. He acted like a woman, and he was taking his testosterone. I think all of the testosterone that hit this season because he looked like he was ready to buckle Anila husband. I don't know if that's gonna be next episode or what. But
yeah, but I think that is just like Eugene.
Eugene, he had all his shots. He had all his testosterone treatments. He is ready to rumble. Like he's sick of y'all talking.
But don't be rumbling with what's the doctor name? Because that doctor has a female name. What's his name?
Who?
Anila's husband.
I can't even tell you. I don't want to be offensive. I just don't know. But they decide, Contessa and Toya decide that they are going to have an intervention on Heavenly. And I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's long overdue. Let her talk all this. Ain't no way in the world I'd be friends with somebody who's dogging me out on the internet, in real life. Like, never. So they get Toya and Contessa are sitting there. They get Simone, who is also someone who's been wronged by Dr. Heavenly. All of them have, actually.
Yeah, and I knew that was right up Simone alley. When Simone called.
Simone I don't think Simone ever really forgave Heavenly. She kind of let it go. But I don't think she ever forgave Heavenly for what she did.
No.
So we're going to move on to Dr. Jackie having a little educational moment. She's always good for education. Her and Dr. Simone. Mm-hmm. Those educational moments on the show, which I can appreciate. She was doing this visit with the lady who, I guess the umbilical cord was facing the wrong way in the womb. So I don't know that they can go and change that. Is that what she was talking about doing, or
I do believe so. I think.
Or can they do that before they had a baby? Like move the baby around?
I'm not sure. It depends on how many months, because I know for sure. Like, I saw a documentary where she had the umbilical cord was wrapped around the baby's neck, and they had to do an emergency. Hey, LNB. They had to do an emergency C-section to get it out, because they was like, if she had to push the baby through, the baby had a possibility of choking or getting choked. So they had to do emergency C-section. So I'm not sure if they're able to go in like during the early stages and reverse that.
Don't let nobody feel bad for going to the thrift store. If you find a deal, you find a deal.
The thrift store is where it's at. They got all the stuff, and you find some good stuff in the thrift store.
But my thing is, I see a lot of celebrities in the name brand stuff, and it just doesn't look good. And there's no way I'm gonna be spending money to
people buy stuff just for names, like, and to have the brand. Like, I don't even want the brand on my ass like that. It has to be something I like, because a lot, and especially
hold up, are you saying Contessa, Toya, and Simone are cowards? I think they have a good idea.
You said it. I didn't. She said,
how are they cowards, Nola? So, and then we're gonna move quickly up past.
They probably because you're sitting there trying to get together and have an intervention and gang up on my homegirl like that. Like, don't be trying to
Okay, so y'all Heavenly fans. Okay, so I see.
Don't try to gang up on her like that, because like y'all could have addressed her one by one. Y'all gonna all try to come and like, what are y'all trying to do? Like, I don't like it. I didn't like it. She needed
to be ganged up on. She needed to be popped anyway. So we're gonna get past Anila real quick because her storyline ain't nothing.
Oh my god, I got some words for Anila.
Her maid, Miss Gomez, is going back to Texas to be closer to Mexico with her family, and she's taking the pinto beans with her. And that's all the son cares about is the pinto beans. I don't know what.
You know what is a sad situation? A sad situation is, and as Neela, I would feel like lower than I would feel really low that my kids, like the maid says she's quitting. The kids is damn near falling apart because your assistant, your helper, is saying she's no longer going to be able to work for you. And you could come to your kids and say, I'm going to quit being a mother. They wouldn't even care. If you come to them and be like, look, I quit being a mother, they're going to be like, all right, where's
Miss Gomez with the pinto beans?
Like, you know,
she putting in the beans, though,
unmother. Yeah. If you unmother them, they don't even care. They like, bye. But if I was like, what kind of, like, how do you even feel? And you want to tell me how I'm going to evolve. I'm gonna do this without Miss Girl. You lost
those, but I don't think she ever had to deal with those kids as a real mom, unfortunately.
And that's sad. And to look at that is so pathetic. And like,
she don't know what to do. Like, and I don't feel no sympathy for you because those are your kids, and you don't know how to deal with your kids.
And you don't even have a job like that. You vlog. You could do that anytime you want to. You could do it in the middle of the night. You could work through your kids. That's something that you set your own. People love to do that and be successful at it because they get to set their own schedule. They're making money and they get to do it on their own time. That's why a lot of people are going into these realms of professions. And you're sitting there, complaining like, well, I'm gonna vlog. Like, I was over Neil. I want her going.
That's why I said let's move past her because this storyline was pissing me off. If I was Miss Gomez, I would be offended.
I really want to see what her kids would say if she comes to them like, I quit motherhood. They probably be like, bye, like you been quit, girl.
Like, bye, like some of these people who left this party. Like, hold on, okay, we about to go to this intervention in just a moment. But, before we do that, we have to talk about Simone and Omarosa. So, I like Omarosa.
I do too.
To contrary belief, I think she's a very smart woman. Do I always agree with Omarosa? No. But I respect, a smart woman. She is someone that will read you for filth. And, just in the same breath. Like, she's worse than Nene, I feel like, with the reads. Like, it's nothing like an intelligent read.
Yeah, she's very intelligent. She's very smart.
Read. So I like Omarosa. What do you think about her? I think she would be a good housewife too. I think
she would, but I like Omarosa too, but I didn't like what she did to that man. That giant man, his family.
What did she do to him?
She locked down the money and she did, it was a lot going on. Like a lot of stuff that
you say she locked down his money.
Yeah, I think was she married to him or not?
They was married.
Yeah, they said something about there was a lot of things that she did to the family, like during when he passed away. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff being done. I'm not sure what, but whatever it was, it wasn't.
But you know how when black people, when the husband passed away, his family be getting mad and saying stuff.
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, that happens. So
that happens. Like I told my husband today, because we were watching The Housewives, and I told him, like, let me tell you something. You know, like, you got other kids, you know, other than mine. He has 2 other kids or whatever. Like I said, I would be fair to the kids, and I would be fair. And if you buck me on being fair, you ain't getting shit. Like I'm saying, but don't, because I am a fair person, and I believe that I try to treat everybody fairly. And if you come to me and you want more, and you want to argue with me back and forth, I'll take everything away. Like, nope. No, not at all.
I think with Omarosa, I think she'll be good on Housewives. I would say put her on Beverly Hills or put her on New York. I think she'll be good on either one.
Oh yeah, she'll tear New York up, and I would love to see her and Ebony K's interaction.
I think that'll be good.
That would be. I believe because I believe they will not get along.
If I was Andy, I would try to get Omarosa on there. Like, seriously, that's gonna bring you the ratings. But yeah, poor Anila. After that cow done boo-booed in your house, and now your maid leaving, your maid going back to Texas, and now you don't know how to deal with your kids.
Like, that is just pathetic to me. And that just, like, as a mother, I wouldn't even put that, like, don't record this. I'd have been like, don't record this, because this, like, how do you even feel as a mother? Like, you do nothing. Like what?
I guess that's how rich people do. Like, they have the nanny raise the kids. You know, that's how Massey.
I would be embarrassed if my kids is falling out, crying, chasing the car down the driveway because
of pinto beans.
Yeah, like pintos. You know, like, you running that pinto.
I would be offended if I was the maid and I said I'm leaving, and they were like, "Well, who gonna do the pinto beans?" I'm intrigued. I do want to know the recipe, because whatever.
Because the way they talking about these pinto beans, I'm like.
And he wouldn't let it go. He was like, my beans is
right. And I'm like, because, you know, I make a good pinto bean, because, you know, I think I'm Mexican. Because I was like, I'm Guadalupe, goddamn it, because I swear to God, I was Mexican. I was mad when I got my DNA results back. Like, I'm not Mexican. Like, you serious? Like,
I could use a roaster too. I could use a roaster because I got some dishes in the sink right now.
But that Omarosa, and I don't know why they writing a book. I think what is the book name going to be? That's what I want to know.
That's kind of what annoys me with Simone and Cecil is y'all just now got y'all marriage back on track. Let it chill for another couple years before you decide you want to tell other people how to be in a relationship. Y'all don't have the answers.
I think they should make a marriage / mixology book, because Cecil looked like he makes a good drink, and they should call it Drinking Our Way Through a Marriage.
I don't know. Are y'all gonna buy Simone book? I mean, are we looking for Simone for relationship advice?
No, but she looked like she could down some vodka. So I think they should call it Drinking Our Way Through Marriage. And Cecil, like, every certain chapter, like every 2 chapters, they should have like a little mixed drinks of, like, you know, when I went through this problem with Simone, when Simone didn't want to give me no coochie, I made this drink. I think that would be a good book.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go on commercial break, and then we're going to talk about how y'all feel like
they ambushed her.
It's funny how people want to be the victim when it turns around, but when it goes around, comes around. So don't get mad when it come back around and y'all want to play the victim. So all y'all heavily fans, we just going to have to get into it, because I don't stand for it with them dry wigs. So we just going to move forward with the commercial, and then we'll be right back after this.
Hey guys, hope you're having a good time. By the way, don't forget, hit that like button. And if you're liking, you might as well subscribe. And drop a comment below. Come on, guys. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's get into this intervention. First off, I know we're not going to agree, but that's fine. We can agree to disagree over here. So as long as everybody's respectful, I don't have a problem with it. So we're going to start off with Contessa and that lavender hue heavily beauty wig. I don't know if she was supposed to look toe up on purpose or if that's what she was trying to do, but she don't know how to dress. I didn't like the jean overall thing she had with the bow.
What was that?
I don't know where would you buy that? Where would you buy that at? Ross? Do they sell that at Ross?
I don't know.
It could have been a teachable moment. It could have been a teachable moment.
What she was teaching with that?
But if you got an ignorant woman like Heavenly in the mix, it's always going to be an ignorant thing. Maybe, well, we're going to get to it. But back to the wig. What did you think about the wig that Contessa had?
I think the wig wasn't for her. Like that wig wasn't for her. It was sitting there looking plasticky. It was like real, I don't want to say too much. That is my little.
Was it a dig? Was it trying to be a dig towards Heavenly? Because the bag looked cheap too. Because it's like a brown paper bag, and you just put a sticker on it that said Heavenly Beauty. Like that looked real cheap, but and the wig looked cheap.
I don't want to give Contessa too much because she's going through a lot, with this person but the wig wasn't for her. I wish she had snatched it off sooner.
But okay, so I don't know why y'all is so against the intervention. I thought it was gonna be a positive. I feel like sometimes you gotta let people know what the
Ain't no good could have come from that. Ain't no good could have come from that. The best part of the intervention to me was when Heavenly was laughing. That was the best part.
Hey, Carol. So
hey, Carol.
Heavenly did that out of defense. Like she did that because she was probably feeling some type of way.
Right, because I would have did the same thing if you want to bring up my best hits of the way, y'all want to bring up, my
and this stupid laugh. But before we get to that, Toya is handling the door. Number one, she's the worst person to handle the door because
no, she was the best person to handle the door. I was here for it.
I was laughing my butt off when
I was here for it. She was like,
she was trying to tell them to put their phones in the bin or whatever. Quan and Dr. Jackie was like, okay, well, I'll just leave. And then they was actually about to head to the car and leave. And Toya walked in like, well, I told her and she just left.
That definitely would have been me. Like, they left because and I'm not chasing behind you. Like I'm not.
I never chase behind anybody, but I would have been trying to get them because, the whole point was for everybody to be there. So why you sending people home? Like, why?
Because they didn't want it. Because you know what? Contessa should have been more clear about the rules. Because if you tell me, like, look, they got to put if that's what Contessa said, if they do not put their phone in, they can't come in. They can't come in. So she was like, well, if you don't put your phone in, you can't come in.
So don't nobody respect Toya. So I think the other two might have been able to word it in a better way. But Toya just going to be like, put your phone in here, and then we're going to tell you what's going on. I'll be too.
Quad is just always on the defensive. I think Quad try to think that she's so perfect or try to be so perfect, so she's just always on the defensive. Like, I like Quad, but that aspect of her, like, she gets on my nerves with that. Girl, you are not all that, and you're not that cute.
I do remember the slight shade that Jackie threw towards Toya because Toya was like, you're nobody special, just like you can put your phone in here just like everybody else. And
she was like, I am special because I'm an MD, you MSR. You ain't that special because if you were that special, Curtis would have been cheating on your ass, Dr. Jackie. So obviously you are not.
I love Dr. Jackie though. I love Dr. Jackie.
I do too, but I don't think you don't have all doctors, not all of them. Most doctors have that God complex.
No, you would have left. I mean, a lot of people probably would have left. They would have probably been like, I don't have time for this.
But I like Dr. Jackie too, but you're going to stop weaponizing your MD.
Okay. So they were invited on Heavenly's channel to be a guest, just like, anybody can call in. They was invited to be a guest. They weren't saying those things about other people. It was Heavenly saying those things. They were probably on there to talk about the show. I really don't think, and someone else brought this point up. You remember, it all go back to Mariah. You remember Mariah, when she was on the show, she used to go live and she used to do commentary too. And she said stuff about Heavenly. Do you remember that? And now Heavenly is doing the same thing Mariah was doing.
Because I think Heavenly did want to be Mariah.
Like, you are being Mariah.
I think Heavenly do, and I can say that. I do believe that.
Like, it's like you keep copying Mariah in every aspect. Like, Mariah, I remember they were mad at Mariah for some of the things that she said, and she said some stuff about Heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Heavenly being upset. So I don't understand how you can be upset at Mariah, but you can't understand how these ladies are upset with you, even though, y'all are on the show, but you're doing extra dogging them out when you go on YouTube and then start talking about them. It's bad enough they're going to get it on the national TV, but then you're going to add to it. It's the obsession for me. Like, I think she's obsessed with Mariah.
I think she did. I think she looked up to Mariah, and I think she wanted to be what her and Dr. Jackie is with Mariah, and it just didn't work out that way.
No, Tessa was absolutely dragging the F out of Toya on there.
Yeah, she was. On Dr.
I think they had beef at that time. So, it's not like I'm trying to come against Heavenly, but I just feel like Heavenly doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Joe, can you put this on me?
She is the villain here. So let's be clear.
I don't think she's the villain. She's just a voice of truth.
How are you a repeat offender? Like, you said stuff about Quad. Quad did not look happy with the filler comment, and she had to get Anila together real quick. And Anila couldn't do nothing but sit there and look stupid. Also, I'm sick of Anila's mouth after the fact. I wrote "shut the F up" next to Anila's name. Like, she was doing a lot, like, towards the end, like trying to make it about her and so upset about the intervention. I don't think it was a bad idea. I just think maybe they could have explained it better before they sat her down. Maybe she shouldn't have had a drink. When y'all gave her crown, how y'all think it was gonna go?
I didn't like it.
Heavenly is nobody's friend. Exactly. Heavenly is nobody's friend.
But did you see? But Jackie is definitely her friend, because Jackie was like, I didn't know nothing about it. Jackie wanted to clear that up.
You can tell Jackie was upset too, because they played some of the clips where she was talking about Curtis having ass in his face.
And weird a lot.
And Jackie was looking like she was cutting her eyes. Like,
Jackie, because obviously you ain't better than nobody, because your husband doing this. I didn't see Eugene.
You talking about Daddy, or
I'm talking about Dr. Jackie. Like, I like Dr. Jackie, but I didn't like what she said about Toya. Like, basically she's more important, like, or whatever, than Toya.
But that's how doctors feel. Like,
but girl, you ain't that important, because we don't see Eugene. Ain't no rumor about Eugene out there stripping at the strip club, tricking and cheating. So obviously somebody is better than somebody in certain areas.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Heavenly has tried to emulate Mariah's career the best she can, but she won't never be the pretty girl, but she can be close to it. And I think that's what she's trying to do.
Yeah, I think that could be a factor. Like, she probably was never that girl.
Yeah, she was never that girl. She had issues. She lost a little bit of weight. She might have got the lap band or the gastric bypass. But, just because you've lost a little bit of weight, that don't mean that I just feel like the mean girl has come out.
I think she's just honest.
Okay, but honesty with your friends can take a turn when you're always saying stuff about them, but they can't say nothing about you.
But is that true, or they just don't?
I mean, I feel like they don't out of the mouth that they're gonna receive if they say something. Like Toya has said stuff, Mariah has said stuff, but I think some of them might be scared of her. So
I just didn't like the way they had, like, that I think they just went about it the idea was good. I think they executed it in not the best way.
I don't think that they knew how it was gonna go, but I feel
like you actually had me in a movie theater room, and you showing you gonna bring up all my stuff on the screen. I would laugh too because I'd have been sitting back there like, remember I said that about you?
Okay, just like a person who's doing drugs or a person who's on drugs, you in an intervention, you have to show them what they're doing.
But let's bring this on. Let's confront you first. About did you ever watch the Chappelle show when they confronted Tyrone about being a crackhead?
I did long ago.
Okay, they confronted him first, and then they brought up, like, remember when you stole out my purse, Tyrone?
You know what I'm saying? To the crackhead intervention.
Yeah, because you did too. You just said the drugs, and when people are on drugs. So they could have just been like, look, Heavenly, you said a lot of things about us on your platform that we did not find. And as soon as she started rebuttaling, like, well, when? Because that's probably what Heavenly would have did. But like, look, roll the tape. You said this and this, but for you to just sit her down and all she see is her talking, and like, I'd have been like, what are y'all trying to do? Like, what is this? And you would have got on the defensive. I think they should have just eased it into her, and they probably could have got an apology. Although the apology probably would have been fake, but they would have got one.
I think they all talk about each other, but I feel like Heavenly crosses boundaries, and I think that's the point that they were trying to make. Maybe they didn't articulate it as well because they just brought her down and they sat her down, gave her some crown, and then had her watch all the videos. And then she starts laughing, which would have pissed me off. Then after the video, Contessa, she's mad 1 minute.
Hey, girl.
That Gemini came out real quick because she was mad 1 minute. Then she started crying. Then she started yelling. I'm like, what emotion are you gonna have today?
We can't control it. We
like, she was really crying tears of anger. They was yelling at each other so bad they had to go out in the hallway. There is no reason I'm gonna be yelling at somebody like that and ain't no hands being thrown. At that point, if y'all yelling like that, somebody should have swung.
I think if it was probably in a different situation, in a different setting, she probably would have, because that's usually the level of emotion. Because I usually, if I'm upset, I'll go from laughing, then I'll go to like crying, then I'll go back to laughing again, and then I want to fight. And then it's just like, it's just a rage moment. Like, you just can't control it. So you're just like, ah!
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Thick Girl says Heavenly wanted to be Mariah, and now that Mariah is on the show, Heavenly thinks she is the Mariah of the show, but she's nowhere near.
She's definitely not the Mariah of the show, but I think Heavenly didn't say nothing but the truth.
They need their butts. They need to get their butts on YouTube and drag too. They do it in their confessional. Don't get mad because she making extra money. Okay, I get it. They all have to talk about each other on the show because they're on the show and, they have to do confessionals. But it's another thing when you go the extra mile to say something out of your way that's nasty about somebody else.
I don't think she does that. That's the whole thing. I don't think she does that. I watched her show, but
so you be friends with her and she over there talk about you and whatever you got going on. Like,
yeah, because I know how to fight. I'll bust her ass. And then we could be like, I would have been slapped. Like, if I didn't like what you say, like, I would have told her first. I would have put, like, look, Heavenly. And like Contessa said, probably she doesn't know because no one has explained. So I'm like, look, Heavenly, like, you say one more thing, I'm going to punch you in your face. But we cool. So I'm not going to initially just do that.
So Nola says, I would have dog walked Tessa to her old house, period. In her old house. But it seemed like Tessa was dog walking Simone because Simone was trying to pull her into the bathroom, but she wanted Simone with that jean overall outfit that she had on. Like,
when she yanked off that wig, I was like, girl, thank God.
Yeah. I really wish that she would get a hold to somebody's stylist, and don't get no Heavenly Beauty either. I feel like Heavenly needs to take some accountability. You've been talking about people behind their back. Toya got in her face, said, "Don't talk about my husband." Like, the thing about it is, can't nobody say nothing about Heavenly and her husband. Like, she'll go off, but you can talk about other people's marriage.
Because you know why? Because Heavenly is smart enough not to talk about what her and Daddy goes through and any type of negative problems that her and Dr. Daddy has. She's smart enough to do that. If you made your life a storyline and you sat there and your husband, actually, because your husband, I don't see Daddy acting a fool. I don't see Daddy cutting up. I don't see Daddy be extra quiet. Like, I didn't even know Daddy could dance the way he got on that floor and did the worm. Like, because he seemed so stiff. Because he knows what time it is. He's like, I'm not going to even give y'all. You're not going to even know. I'm going to act very monotone. Because he acts very monotone. Like, no, when, how, why. Because he's not going to give y'all his real personality. And he probably an animal. Who knows? He's probably dancing. And he West Indian too. He probably bogo, no stop. He probably doing all types of stuff in the house. But he's not going to give y'all that because he's not going to give you space to say anything about him. Now, on the other hand, this guy, you then gave them space to say this about you. And all Heavenly did was answering questions. They asked her a question and she answered it. Was she supposed to lie to her audience?
Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's a conflict of interest when you're on the show and you're talking about the show every week. Like, you have to get paid for your interviews. I mean, you're getting something from YouTube, but usually people go on interviews like Watch What Happens Live or whatever to say what they got to say. You know, if there's something that they got to say. What if Beyonce got on YouTube and started talking about everybody like a dog? Like, it's unprofessional. It's unprofessional at the least.
But I don't think she was just, like, with Contessa's situation.
Nola, I sent it to you in the DM. I'm sorry.
Now, Quad, but she said Quad was down there to marry men's balls. She said that, Quad was down there.
Isn't that what Mariah said, though? Isn't that what Mariah said? Did Mariah say that Quad was messing with Mary?
Yeah, this was a rumor, because this was a rumor out there saying Quad was messing with Mary Men. So that's why I think Quad didn't give her too much. Because, when you really address it, that's when people start coming up, well, you know what I'm saying? So she probably like, I'm not going to even dignify that answer,
I mean, it's been put out there that Quad do like to mess with married men. Like, she's the type of woman, she don't really like to cook or clean, or she doesn't really want to have a husband. She just want to have somebody to smash.
Quad don't like to cook or clean, but she dress her ass off and her walk is me.
And her nephew run her house.
Hey, Nola.
Hey, Nola.
Hey, y'all. Baby, y'all gonna leave Mason alone, okay? There will be no Mason slander across no channels. Mason is the man.
Mason is an old man
in that house. He go tell her, let me know what time you go when you start to get ready to come over here. Like, what? Come on now. How old is he trying to run the house?
Mason wanted to make sure she made it home all the time because things is happening out here in these streets.
What he gonna do? What is he gonna do?
Mason is just a weird.
He gonna call the proper authorities to make sure his auntie be okay. Listen, no Mason slander. There will be none.
That's all I gotta say is he running the house over there. She need to get a lock on that. That's what she needs to do.
I don't think so, though.
You're too young to be too controlling. You can't control.
He just give me old man. When I first saw him and he was sitting down to the kitchen counter, I was like, this little boy done been here before.
Why are y'all feeling like Heavenly got ambushed?
It was an ambush situation.
It was an ambush.
I believe it was.
It was
not even that. Even if I didn't like her, I don't like the way they went about it. Now, the idea and the concept, maybe it was okay. Like, yeah, she does need to be confronted about what she's done because she needs to know that you are hurting your friends. But I think in the manner that they did it, it wasn't right. Like, they shouldn't invite her down, sat her down, and then played Heavenly Greatest Hits. And then, like, because I would now automatically, you on the defensive. As soon as I see my face pop up on the screen, it was supposed to be a movie now, I'm like, I would have started laughing too. Like, now, girl, I'm going to really give it to y'all. Y'all trying to, I'm going to really say some shit.
and she really gave it to him last night on her live.
What you call her, no Tessa?
No
So what did
Tessa
she say on her live?
oh,
Like, why is she still going live? She don't give a damn. Like,
at
she not
all.
gonna fix these
If I
friendships.
listen, if you look up "I don't give a damn" in the dictionary, it's
That
a
was her
picture
face.
of Dr. Heavenly Kynes. Okay, she don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? And Heavenly said what she said. She stood on it. Said I meant every word I said, and y'all just said behind each other back. I said in your face and all my mouth, and she meant that. But here's why I can't respect it. Contessa, you was on her show several times, dragging your castmates with her. Shut up. Anelia, you had better sit down and don't say not a mumbling word, because you was on there too. And Contessa, you and Toya been cool since when? Since when? Since you mad with Heavenly?
Since
You
last
was
season.
you you that hurt. You that hurt. You ain't told her nothing in 5 months. The same way you said, "Oh, we was friends. You should have talked to me." This, that, and the third. I don't like what Contessa's doing. Hear me out. I feel like if we friends to a certain extent, certain things you just don't say. Had it been me personally, can't nobody get me on my YouTube channel to talk about now one of y'all. They ask me questions, I'ma say, listen, them my people. When I'm not answering that. Me personally.
Hey,
That's
ranting.
how you know what I'm saying. That's how I would have did it. Me personally. However, don't get up here with that bull crap talking about because my husband is a doctor and she said he was abusive. Girl, you said your husband is a doctor,
Okay.
and you said your husband live in a volatile home. Your husband is a doctor, but your husband didn't care about looking like a fool when he is in the public eye, manipulating and turning your children against you. Matter of fact, did you know you was a doctor when you was acting a fool last night on the TV? Don't put that on Heavenly. Your husband made himself look like a fool on his own.
He did look really bad last season, and Contessa did tell a lot of their personal business.
And she was
And
going to
Contessa
them
also
cheating.
sat on that stage and was quiet and used those ladies to come at her husband because she
Why?
ain't have the power to say shut the fuck.
Yeah, she did a lot last season. I think it's that it might be that Gemini. She be forgetting of what she did. Like,
No, that's just her.
Heavenly told her right.
We
You
gonna
mad
blame
at
this on
your
the Gemini.
husband.
but if
You
you know
mad
your
at your
friend, don't
husband.
take
And
advantage of something. Don't take advantage of the fact
no.
that I said it. And if we're
But
friends,
she,
don't take
if
advantage
you
of.
watch it, I watched it though. I watched it. She did not. She might have dragged her husband, but she ain't dragged Contessa. And let's be real. All the women in the chat, be real. Just like what she said about Curtis. Somebody mess over your girl and hurt your girl while you love your girl. You ain't gonna like him, and you
Yeah,
ain't got nothing good to say about him. Let's be real.
Mhm.
Let's be real about it. Somebody treat your cousin, sister, friend some type of way, even when they forgive, you don't forgive and you don't forget. And God damn it, if you a dog, you a dog.
yeah.
And what I saw last night was hit dogs hollering because the truth hit home and they know their situations is full of shit. And
That's what it was. Yeah.
Toya want to talk about Heavenly, but she ain't brought nothing to this show but Patron drinking and nomadic lifestyle. That's what we learned from her. Take it, Toya.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like Toya has a point to prove. She talked about Toya's marriage really bad and talked about Toya's spending habits.
She
Talked
talked about,
about
but it's true. It's
it's
true.
true, but do
It's
you put
true.
it out there as
Eugene is
my
tired.
friend? As my friend, do you make it worse by talking about me to the public, or do you
When
just leave
but
it
but
alone?
when was Toya and Heavenly ever really friends like that?
That
When?
was cool at one point.
They was cool, but guess what? Every chance get Toya got,
I
she was in the
responded, thick
confessional
girl.
dragging
I
her.
responded.
Yeah, they were back. They were going head to head all the time. But I don't think Heavenly got on the show. There may be a conflict of interest, but she was answering questions that the people were asking. And Dr. Contessa, she really, of all the girls, she has no room to be mad at Heavenly because, girl, you put your business out there. You and
Did.
your husband did it. Your
Okay,
husband
let's get
blamed
on
your husband.
Simone. She talked about Simone's husband. Like
And
you taking it
Simone
too
husband
far.
and
Husband talked about
Simone
her.
husband was talking about her. Don't
But did
tell
he
me
talk
no. If
about her
your
first? Did he
husband
talk about
if
her
your
first?
husband step in a boxing ring with me, I'ma step in a boxing ring with him back. And my mouth is lethal. So if you can't handle this lethal weapon, don't step your ass in the ring.
And then
Period.
Simone is another Contessa because you were talking about your husband as well. You were saying
She
what your
can do
husband was
that.
doing.
That's her husband. She can talk about him.
But you are putting this out there about what your husband's doing, what he's not doing, what you're not happy with, and he's such and such, and he's doing this. And you were putting this out there.
Can't
So when
nobody
people,
say nothing about Heavenly? Can't nobody say nothing about
because
I
you know
didn't
why they
say
can't?
nobody can't.
Because she
Y'all
don't
can
she don't
talk
put it out
about.
there.
She can talk about everybody else, but can't nobody say nothing about Heavenly.
But they talk about Heavenly in the confessionals. Get
And,
yourself a YouTube channel and get on here and drag Heavenly
and
too.
Mariah tried and failed. Mariah tried to come for Daddy and said, do you want to see the
She
receipts? We
conceded. She
still waiting for
conceded.
these receipts.
She conceded. I think that she had
Wait, let me
receipts,
let me say this,
but she
Riri, all
decided not
day.
to show them.
I don't think it's okay for I said that Heavenly should have never answered those questions. That's her friend. Me personally, if you watch my review that I did last week, my personal opinion is that Heavenly should have never reviewed this show
Mm-hmm.
because it's a difference in her reviewing the show and us reviewing the show.
Yeah.
Here's
Yes.
why. We only review what we see on the screen versus Heavenly is there. So the people gonna ask her for the parts that we didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
So my personal opinion is that she should have never even reviewed this show. My personal opinion is that when people ask them personal questions, if she was gonna review this show, she should have said, Toya, my girl, and I ain't gonna answer that question about her husband. I'm not gonna answer those personal questions.
Yeah,
Or
because it's a
Contessa or
conflict of
whoever.
interest reviewing
You
the
know what
show
I'm
that you're
saying?
on.
Like
But she
that's
talks
my
about everybody's husband. That's her go-to is to
that's my
talk about the
personal
Because
husband.
they're giving her ammunition to talk about. Daddy ain't giving nobody no ammunition. He barely talk.
He don't have any information out.
Because
But,
I'm still waiting for them receipts from Mariah.
well, we'll never
you
get
know.
her.
So that's my personal opinion. She should have never reviewed this show, period. Because you're gonna get it as a YouTuber. Let's be real. As a YouTuber, we all address comments. You know what I'm saying? Whether we want to or whether we don't. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't address the comment, then it come off as your bias
Mm-hmm.
towards whoever you reviewing one way or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the same gonna go for Heavenly when she on this platform. Even more so because she has way more information than what we have when we're reviewing it. So my personal opinion is, like I said, she should have never even reviewed this show. But if you're gonna review it and do it honestly. But you
I
can
agree.
honestly say, they're my people and I don't want to cross no lines like that. And that's my good girl, and I'm not about to put her business out there because she is privy to more personal things. But when she said Contessa is in an emotionally abusive relationship, she put in the words what we saw on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Where
It
was
was
the
the
lie?
truth.
When she
It was
dragged when
the
she
truth.
dragged Curtis,
It was
it
the
was the
truth, but
truth.
it's not your place. It's not your place to say.
But it wasn't Contessa place to come up on her show and talk about Toya either. And Contessa did it. Contessa dragged the dog shit
And
out of
that's my problem
Toya
with it.
on that show.
Here's
Okay, because
that's my
Heavenly
major
kind of
problem with the intervention. This is my major problem with the intervention. Don't get up on my same fat platform that you have a problem with now because the table is on you. You know what I'm saying? It was all good when
Hmm.
Heavenly was dragging when it wasn't about you, but now it's a problem because it's about you. Either you don't like her dragging the girls or you do. You know what I'm saying? You have to know if she dragging this one and then she go to dragging this one somewhere down the line. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna
Gonna
get
drag
dragged
your ass
too.
but
too.
Heavenly didn't like it when Mariah was dragging her when she was
But
doing her lives.
But the thing is, Heavenly made a platform for herself to be able to do it. She didn't like it. Mariah still did it. So Heavenly is just doing what Mariah was doing to her. She made a platform, and if Toya was smart, Toya would get up here and do the same thing. She need to make an extra damn coin
like
to
Toya
have
have a
all the money she
listen.
spent.
And I've been saying the only thing Toya brought to this show was a nomadic lifestyle and drinking Patron. She ain't bringing fashions because her ass don't dress. She around there in TJ Maxx clothes like everybody else walking around here in the regular streets. And no, I ain't down in TJ Maxx. I shop there too. But she ain't bringing nothing. But you know where I learned Toya have a skincare line from? Heavenly damn
What?
YouTube. She promoting your stuff and you ain't even promoting it. Get out of here
Yeah,
with
because
that.
I never heard
So
that.
did she
I
give a
never heard
real
that before.
promotion or she just talked about it?
No, she said that she said on last week, she said, listen, I'm not doing nothing negative. We're gonna save that for this week when we get on the front intervention. She talked about all of their businesses and said promote it. She even offered Toya to come when she had her opening. She even offered Toya, just like Jackie had a table with her stuff. She offered Tacky Toya to have a table too.
And don't make me defend Heavenly. I don't like Heavenly. Like I said in
I'm
the
not saying
comment,
I'm not
she
saying
wanted to
Heavenly
be
is
Mariah. She thinks she's Mariah this season because when she was growing up, she even said that she didn't have friends. She didn't go outside. So now that she's got friends and she can go outside,
You said she was locked in that room.
she was like the kids on the flowers in the attic, in the house
I see
with
why
her
they left
mama
her
and no
because
friends. And that's why she don't know how to be a friend. That's why she don't know how to be a friend because she didn't grow up with friends. Her son and her
locked in
sister
the
don't like
room.
each other. So she just this is her test run on how to be a friend, and she never learned it. So she don't know how to be it. But one thing she gonna be is honest with you. One thing I can say about Heavenly, she don't lie on people.
and
She tell exactly what it
if
is.
you didn't want Heavenly speaking on, and here's my thing, if you didn't want Heavenly or none of
It's
these
the way
ladies
she say it.
speaking on your marriage, then you shouldn't have let them set up on that stage and tell your
Exactly.
husband what the hell he was doing wrong. You can't have it both ways. You
Exactly.
Exactly.
cannot open the door and tell somebody you can only stand at the front door, and then when they walk in the living room, now you got a problem. Don't
Right.
open
And
the
she
damn
lucky
door.
talk. She lucky Heavenly ain't talked about her not wanting that man any goddamn way. Cause we all know she don't want that damn man. So
Right. She
Heavenly
moved
ain't went
on.
as far as she actually could have went
And
because
I
Heavenly
don't
Heavenly
think
could have
Heavenly
Heavenly
stayed
never
in
knows
that
dragged
space.
all of.
you,
I
Gene.
think she's pulled back from Heavenly, so maybe Heavenly don't know that she's probably
No,
not in
everybody
No,
knows that she
Heavenly
don't want
knows.
no man.
She probably
So
done told
yeah,
her,
everybody know Contessa don't want no man. Period.
and that's probably why she's even more
Are
mad
you
at
are you
Heavenly.
saying she's a carpet muncher?
So yeah, yes, and she ready. She
She
wants
says
to
it's a
cock
strong
'em.
possibility.
God damn it.
That's a
Yeah,
strong.
that's what she wants to fucking do.
Hey,
Get out of
Ranty.
here.
She
I
says
mean,
it's like a spade game. There's three in a possible that she is. There's three
I
in a possible.
mean, I mean,
You
I don't want to say
Contestant should be her
nothing.
name.
I
so
want
you think that she would be like the strong one, like, or do you think that she'll be the femme? Like, what do you think?
No, she's gonna be the strong one.
No, I don't think she's going to be the strong one because she's the strong one, and
She,
she.
I
I
think
think she
she has
wants to
two
be the soft one.
personalities. She has the Terminator personality, but then she also has this,
Exactly. She don't know which
crying,
one.
like really
She's
like
top one day, the
She's
bottom the
upset,
next.
verse. She's verse. She's verse.
damsel in
Exactly.
so
distress.
like I said when y'all was I got up here and said Sheree is, a repressed, what. And I said I know my members of my community when I see them. Y'all saying that's what Contessa is? Y'all know her
Mhm.
when y'all see it?
That's exactly what
Yep.
she is. That ain't my community, but goddamn it, I know her.
Just because she's
I ain't
strong.
gonna say that. I don't
Angela
know.
Bassett got muscles, so y'all saying that Angela Bassett?
I ain't
You
gonna
leave
say that.
Angela Bassett out of this.
Right. Leave
I'm
Angela
You
just,
Bassett.
can
I
look
just
at
want
the way
a
she
strong woman
hugged
with
these
heart.
women,
Don't
sir. Child,
don't come
please.
for
Come
don't
on,
come for
Shady. Don't
Auntie
come for
Angela.
Angela in her arms.
Use a
Here's
lot.
Angela
my
ain't got
thing.
nothing to do with this.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
want you. I
I
don't
don't
want
So
know.
we
you
done
no more.
told y'all, we done let y'all know about Loretta Devine and what's the other one name?
Lily,
Lewis, Jennifer Lewis. Now we gonna
leave
put
them out of
Angela
this too.
Bassett in that in
Hold
that
on,
in that cot with them. Don't y'all mess with them.
Loretta Devine.
Loretta Devine. What's her name? Jessica. What's the lady?
Jennifer
Lewis
Lewis.
Not
lady that we
Jennifer
were talking
Lewis.
about. Jennifer
Jennifer
Lewis.
Lewis.
That's my girl. I
Y'all
love
can't
Jessica.
talk
So
about
Huh?
Loretta
it was
Devine.
this.
You can't talk about Jennifer Lewis,
No,
or
no,
you can't talk about Angela Bassett. You
nope.
can't talk about them three.
Oh my
No,
God,
we just
I
saying
love
no
both of
All
them.
slander.
I was saying was
No,
just because
nope,
Angela Bassett is
nope,
strong, that doesn't make
no,
her lesbo.
no, no,
No,
no.
that don't.
Listen,
Because we're not gonna put that on her. We're not going there with her. She's a national treasure. We don't do
You
that.
see how Kiki did the Angela Bassett impersonation? I did
Yeah.
the Jennifer Lewis one. Entendre. Entendre. Come on. I'm from Kenlock. Come on, mama. You remember you used to be my play mama. That was the best movie ever. Have you ever seen Jackie's Back?
I've seen it a long
That
time.
Here's
was the
what I
best movie
think.
ever. That
I
movie is
Yes,
so
think
I
hilarious.
Contessa. I think Contessa was truly hurt by what Heavenly said because she thought they was better than that. She thought she was above getting dragged than the other women. You know what I'm saying? She thought
She
she
was
was above it.
stupid.
I believe she's truly hurt by it, but I also believe she using it to hide that bullshit that her and Scott is really doing better. We saw they was playing in our face on the first episode, like they together, but this is taking the focus off of her and Scott. She thinking we ain't gonna notice that y'all marriage is really still trash.
Hmm.
Let the little daughter talk. She'll
But I
tell us
don't
every
think that
damn
she's
thing.
trying to hide it because she did allude to the fact that she's planning. just in case it doesn't work out.
Well, work quicker. My thoughts on this whole situation is, first of all, whose kids is yelling?
Somebody has something going on in the background.
Okay. Um, let's be clear. It was an ambush. Through and through. It's an ambush. I know it was an ambush, even though it was supposed to be dressed up as an intervention. And trust me, I've been to one of those. Haven't had one, but I've been to one. It was an ambush because there was 3 people in the house looking tacky with bad hairstyles who didn't put their phones in that cake thing, okay, at the door. They didn't put their phones in there. It wasn't until everybody else started coming, as long as it wasn't the person they was having this thing about, that they were like, put your phones in here. Why do you want them to put their phones in here when y'all phone's not in here? Oh, that's right, because as soon as y'all told them what this was about to be, they were going to call her and warn her, and y'all didn't want that to happen. It was an ambush through and through. When it comes to y'all playing the greatest hits, well, I would
It
have been
was a surprise.
huh?
It was a surprise.
It was an ambush.
You
call it surprise, I call it ambush.
That was not a surprise party. That
was an ambush. When it comes to playing the greatest hits, well, let me tell you
Surprise
something.
ambush.
I would have been sitting there like, well, if you playing my greatest hits, I want you to play the greatest hits where y'all was all up there with me too. Y'all got to play that too, because it wasn't just me, it was you too. And let's
They
be
did
clear.
show a little bit of Anila and Contessa.
They showed a little bit of them, but not all of it, because Contessa was sitting up there and dragging them people with her. Was good for the goose, is good for the gander, and y'all thought y'all was all safe. And when she was talking about everybody else until she started dragging y'all too, and now it's a problem. Well, you should have had a problem with it when she was dragging everybody else. That's when the problem should have happened, because y'all should have known that if she is talking about them, she is going to talk about me. And me personally, I wouldn't have got up here and did, reviewed the show that I was on, because, ain't nobody got time for y'all to be like, well, more, so you're going to say more. And then it's just going to be this whole situation that we're in now, because I am on the show and I know more about what's going on. So if I'm reviewing it after the episode airs, then it's really going to be a problem, because, yeah, I'm in the mix and I know more about what's going on. So now everybody feels like I'm spilling secrets. Wasn't no secret that your husband was out here working like he was Ike Jr. and treating you some type of way, except he wasn't putting the hands on you.
But we don't know that.
That's not the secret. That's not a secret. You told that to the whole world. And let's be clear, the only reason why nobody can say anything about Dr. Damon, because that's not my father, I don't know that man, I'm not calling him that, is because he doesn't put himself out there. They don't sit up here and talk about all
Beverly
the
doesn't either.
She doesn't. They don't sit up there and put each other out there. They're not up here talking about, oh, this is what's going on in my marriage. Oh, we cheated, or this happened. They don't do that, so you don't have anything on them to say. Now, when it comes to everybody else, yeah, you can talk about Contessa and Scott. Why? Because she put her stuff out there. She used them women last season at the reunion to deliver them papers, and she was really hoping that somebody would stand up for her. And she was using them like they was attack dogs. And let's be clear, I'm nobody's attack dog, and you're not going to use me to get your point across. Say what you need to say and say it with your chest. When it comes to Eugene and Toya, we can talk about you. You ain't got no job. You not doing nothing. Was you smart and got a man with money and married him and got in on the ground floor? Yes. But you out here moving like you a squatter, okay? You move from home to home. You don't have a permanent residence. I'm not understanding how this works out, especially when you have kids. I don't have children, but if I did, me and my kids, unless it's a bad situation, I'm not picking up to move every single season and then not having them put down roots somewhere where they could actually go to school, make friends, and build a community around them.
Are we going to applaud Contessa for trying to take a stand against Heavenly? So y'all don't agree with
that's my thing about this. She could have taken a stand against her 5 months ago before they started filming, and then all of it was put on camera. That's when you should have took a stand against this woman talking about you and hurting your feelings and talking about your husband, or so she says, with that tacky ass wig on. Sorry, I don't mean to, cuss on y'all platform, but it was tacky, and I would have dog walked her in her own house, snatched that wig off, and burnt it in front of her face.
Yeah, I think she could have been confronted heavily, and she could have confronted her solo dolo.
Right, and don't you ever do this again.
You needed a group to confront her?
Maybe she needed time to get process what happened. She was
You
trying
don't
to cry.
need 5 months to process the
She
fact
was
that
hurt. She was
you don't
hurt, you
need
guys.
5 months to process the
But
fact
you
that
don't need 3 people either. You don't need
that
5 months,
too.
and you don't need 3
You
people.
don't need a group of
But
people. You don't
all
need
of
a
those
house
people
full of
have the
people.
same
But
experience.
all of them had the same experience individually. They didn't have the experience collectively. So
Right.
They
why
had it
are you coming to
individually with
me?
the same person.
Here's the
But
situation.
but
Here's
me and your issues, me and your issues. Contessa should have had the balls enough, like the balls enough to come to Heavenly, like, look, lead with your pinky. What Wendy said, when you serious, you lead with your pinky. Because I would have been all up in Heavenly face, like, look, Heavenly, I fucks with you the long way, but I'm about to fuck you up. Excuse my
right.
French, because you mentioned my marriage one more time up on that YouTube.
We're gonna have a problem.
We're gonna have a
But
whole problem. And I would have
Ray,
confronted you solo. I'm not gonna wait for Simone or wait for somebody else or get
Toya.
grouped up
Or
and
wait.
such and such, because I know y'all all have the same problem with this person. But when I didn't have a problem with her, it was all good. Like Branton
Right.
said, it was all good when I didn't have a problem with her. It was all
that's
good for
very
us to
true.
laugh and kiki and talk about y'all. But now that I got a problem with her, I'm gonna group up with y'all and come
No.
at her.
And
Nah,
that's
that's
But
one
the
thing.
only
That's
person
one
that
thing I
really should
can't
have a
respect.
problem with her is Toya, and Heavily admits that. Heavily says that. Toya is the one that should really have the problem with her, and that is because Contessa sat there and faked with her. Come on, Simone, we already know you barely got a problem. That issue, your husband made that issue. He did that shit to himself. So everything that she gave was warranted. Only person that has a real issue that gets dragged and walked like a dog back to Heavenly is Toya. Contessa, you let that lady speak for you all last season and all damn reunion. So your problem is fake. Get out of here. And goddamn Simone, your husband did that to himself, so you get the hell out of here too. And Toya, now we can talk. Other than that, get.
And Miss Simone, Dr. Simone, your husband started with that lady. And let me be clear on something.
did
If
he say
somebody
did he say she needs to pressure wash her house?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was
it was
trying to do the
something what
Mariah
Mariah
thing.
said.
So
But
let's be
Ray, I want to hear what you think. You haven't said anything so far. I do want to hear what you have to say. If you're still there.
let me finish this real quick. Simone, Dr. Simone, your husband started with that lady. Now let me make something abundantly clear to everybody out here in the world who gonna watch this back. If your partner starts with me and I ain't said nothing to them, I ain't had no smoke for them, let me be clear. It's up and it's stuck from that point on. My mouth is very reckless. And whatever you had to say to me or about me, or you trying to talk about me or dog walk me verbally, let's be clear. You want to go low, I'm gonna go low with you, but I'm gonna go to the lowest of lows and I'm gonna hurt your feelings. So
Straight to hell.
don't start none, won't be none. Simone's husband started with that lady, and you got dog walked verbally. You can't be mad about that. Toya, let's be clear, girl. You give us everything. You give us everything to talk about you. I'm sorry. You just be putting it out there for us to talk about you. And I mean, for the people who review it, that's great. And I mean, like, I don't know what you want us to do. Like, you out here, like Nola said, you living like a nomad. I don't get it. I don't understand. It was a big, beautiful house. I would have stayed there. Contessa, once again, girl, why are you mad? Like 5 months ago, I would get that you would have said something, but you didn't say anything. And just like I had the issue with Rusty Metals, Rusty Golds down there being upset and trying to drag Drew in front of everybody, I got a problem with Contessa trying to drag heavily in front of everybody, because this was a conversation that should have been had between the person who you had a problem with and yourself, privately, away from everybody 5 months ago. You used it for a storyline. Them tears is fake. You're misdirecting your anger onto somebody who you could easily go at her, because you can't go at that man who's living in your house, because we obviously see he treats you bad. He turning them kids against you. When the trainer is over, the kids walking up like they big, bad, and bold, and they not children, talking about who is this person. Like, that's not a whole adult, and you don't even know how that person operates. He keep embarrassing you down to the TV. Like, what you want us to do? Ain't nobody said that man was like, I didn't say he was doing anything to you, but you let it be known that it was happening. So if your issue is with her 5 months ago, this is when this conversation should have been had. Not for a storyline, not because you need something to talk about, because basically your husband told you. From what what I'm getting at this point, she's using this for a storyline, because that man had told her, if you talk about me one more time for a storyline, it's up and it's stuck from this point on, and ain't nobody gonna have no peace in this house.
Right. I do believe that he got her together. I think that
And
he went and got her together and was like, let me tell you something, because he is a gatherer because the way he gathers her every time she tried to attempt to say something, he gathered her.
He basically probably told her, the way you embarrassed me down to that reunion on national television, especially because you know his colleagues and their wives and whoever else in their family is going to be watching this show because he is on this show. The way you done set up here and embarrass me, it'll never happen again. So you better figure out what you going to do, because this right here, this ain't what you want. And it probably really isn't what she want. So once again, with her and her tacky wig, this was an ambush. Say it with your chest. And Heavenly, she meant what she said. She said what she said. She said it again if you need her to. And she probably would have said it all again in y'all faces down to that room if it wasn't for the fact that Miss Ma'am got all high in the voice, got real screechy and pitchy, like the people that we on a break from. And I'm just going to say it. If I got to hear it, like I told Humpwig, you
Where
start with that
Rika?
voice, you start, I think she dropped off. If you start with that high voice again, me and you going to have a problem because I can't take it. My ears was, it, I thought my ears was gonna bleed. I really thought that it was too much.
It was a lot. I think it could have been better, but I think Contessa's heart was in the right place. I think she's been hurt by Heavenly,
She
but
been hurt by her husband.
I think that she also opened the door. Like, let's take this as a life lesson, you guys. Like,
Stop
a
telling
lot
people
of
your
times, maybe
business.
you might want to keep your relationship to yourself, because if you start telling people, we said this before on this channel, you start telling people negative things about your relationship, and then you
Mm-hmm.
work it out with the person, everybody's still gonna be saying what you basically told them about your significant other. I think she opened the door for critics, but at the
Right. And
same
if
time,
They need
Contessa's
to do what
anything like
Heavenly
me,
do and shut the hell up.
right? Because if Contessa's anything like me,
she
we'll
shut
blurt
up
out
about
stuff.
herself. She shut
We
up
don't
about
care. Like
herself.
we'll blurt out stuff. Like I'll blurt out stuff about my relationship because I just don't care.
Mhm.
Because it is what it is. Like yeah, it is what it is. But
But
then
she's not like you because she
when that
cares,
person
Mace.
gets upset,
Heavily
like
cares about her image, and she does not. She blurts out stuff that might not even be true. Like, me and Daddy be doing this, and me and Daddy be doing that,
yeah,
or
because
whatever.
she's a frontation. She's a whole frontation. But
Yeah, she.
I think if Contessa think we don't like change. I don't like stuff to change, and that would probably be one of the reasons that she may stick around with this guy because she doesn't want anything to change. Like we just content. Like we like
They have 3 kids.
She
but
ain't
even
too
if
content. She left them damn kids for a whole year to go get her degree.
that's
She like
the point.
change.
Like,
She has kids. She wants them to stay with their daddy and their mama in the
No,
same
no,
house.
I
no.
don't think it's about the kids. I just think that she doesn't want to rock the boat and she doesn't want any change because I don't think it's really about the kids.
It's not.
It's about
If
the
it,
family. She
I think
wants
it's
her
about the
people. She wants her to
family.
be that wholesome family that she's supposed to have. The dreams that mom and daddy had for her.
Yeah, she
That's
didn't
what
have
she
that.
wants.
Like you got to look at her past as well. She had a father that was heavily on drugs. She had a mom that was sick and dying that she had to deal with. Whatever. And now that she has this husband and this family, like you don't want that dynamic to change
That's
because
how
you
she
don't
knows.
you don't know what's on the other side. Like you don't know. You could be like, damn, I hate this fool. You know what I'm saying? Every day you wake up, but you don't know you're scared of what's on the other side.
Hmm.
and let's be clear, doing this, staying in this marriage with this man because you don't want to break up the family unit because that's not what you had growing up. Let's be clear, that's doing more damage to your kids than you will ever know. And when they grow up to
Right.
resist not only you but him, you're gonna be sitting up here wondering if this show is still on. Or if depending on where social media goes, you're gonna be sitting up here wondering, well, why do my kids feel this way? It's because you knew you was in this situation, you knew what was going on, but because you had your own selfish reasons and because you have yet to go to therapy to unlearn everything you learned in your childhood and work through your trauma, once again, this is carrying across a lot of these shows. People need to go to therapy to start to work on a lot of this stuff. You've now stuck yourself and your children in a volatile situation, and they're picking up on it and they understand it. Once again, they had all that smoke for the trainer. Didn't even know this man. Didn't even know how the trainer was going to come at them kids. You don't know these people from a can of paint. You know them on surface level. So you don't know what that man would have said and did to them kids the way they came at him. And because you are sticking yourself in this situation and basically forcing your kids to be in this situation and watch everything that's going on, when they get older, mark my words, they are either not going to talk to them people no more, or they're going to end up resenting them and end up in relationships just like it. Because their
Listen,
parents
I
don't
always
know
say the
what to do.
children are watching. The
listen.
children are watching.
First of all, when they pulled up, Scott was the one who addressed about the man being in there with mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't see that that's manipulation of your
Manipulation.
children,
Thank you. Yep.
I don't know what it is. Because you can't, let me tell you something. Even a woman with a boyfriend, let alone a husband,
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell me Scott didn't know who that man was and that man was going to be there.
Exactly.
You know what
I
I'm
think he's
saying?
just
Because
playing for the cameras.
listen, that ain't nothing to play when it come to your
Nope.
children.
But he's also the man that told his kids he had a girlfriend. Like, he does things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Starting with
not
his
defending Scott.
family.
I'm not defending Scott.
You
But
know what I'm
switching gears, did y'all see how Quad checked Anila real quick when they was watching the video and
Yeah, how she gonna say she the prettiest
Anila
one
was
there?
like, Anila had the nerve to talk about somebody feelings, and she was like, I ain't got no feelings. She would have called her a bitch, but
And she was like, I'm the prettiest one here in the room. How Quad want to say I'm the prettiest one in the room?
and then
Because
everybody
she
turned
was
around.
felt that
all
way.
She was.
And Jackie turned around and was like,
Yeah, but everybody turned around, but nobody said
Now,
nothing.
Jackie knows she ain't the prettiest one in the damn room now. Come on, group.
Yeah,
I mean,
Can
Quad
we
is
talk about
pretty, but I wouldn't say prettiest in the room.
yeah, but Quad be reaching like
She ain't.
Quad.
Jackie ain't touching her ass. I tell you that damn much.
But
I'm
Jackie
just
Jackie
turned
ain't nowhere
around
near.
when she said, I'm the prettiest. Like you in the room and then somebody said, I'm the prettiest one in
Yeah,
here.
that was just like
Everybody like,
that was
I'm
just
just-
too much. Like, girl,
Quad is very beautiful.
she
Okay?
is.
I know a beautiful woman when I see it, and she's beautiful. Can we talk about the fact that Toya was on a power trip at the door?
she was, and she did not mind people leaving, and that was
Right.
funny to me.
And I
Quad
would
was
have
like,
told
No. When somebody gives you a little bit of authority, you go, somebody gives you an inch, you take them out.
she did
That's
not
what Heavenly do with
way
her
too-
channel.
Can I just say
not
this?
host a party. She could not host. Like everybody be leaving early. But where's everybody at?
And I told them to get out. That's
Can I just say this? This was my biggest problem with this so-called intervention. Not only was it an ambush
Surprise party. It
to
was a surprise
Heavenly,
party.
ambush.
not only was it an ambush to Heavenly, but it was an ambush to those other ladies because
Mhm.
Yeah,
they didn't
it
know what they were
was.
coming there for, and that wasn't right. Because what if Dr. Jackie or Quad or Anila didn't want to be a part of that? You
Mm-hmm.
took that option away from them and just had them come there on a pretense of something else. That ain't right.
And you could have threw Anila under the bus with the
You
whole
saw
thing.
Dr. Jackie cleared that up real quick. She was like, Heavenly, I didn't know.
Right. Like,
Didn't know.
as soon as she walked in the house, I would have been like, Heavenly, let me be clear on something. I didn't know they taking phones. I was gonna call you, but let's be clear on something. I didn't know, because if I would have known, I wouldn't have come. Because let's be clear on something.
Heavenly ain't
I
got
already
time.
knew you was going to be dragging people, and I figured eventually you was going to drag me too. And it don't hurt my feelings. Okay, drag me all you want. I don't care. You can say whatever you want about me. I know who I am. So what you gonna do about this situation? Because they about to start in on you, Miss Girl.
And
I'm
true, like, why do y'all care so much about what Heavenly says? Like, realistically, I mean, I get it. That's supposedly your friend, but that
y'all are
we all
coworkers.
have that friend that talks smack all the time, and you be like, okay, whatever.
Let's be clear. Let's be honest. Like, somebody honestly tell me, do these women on the off seasons when the show is not filming, do they all hang out together? And I mean the entire cast, not just a few
Dr.
of them.
Jackie and Simone
No.
hang out.
I think the only people that Heavenly truly was hanging out with was Dr. Jackie and Contessa outside of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You see her and Dr. Jackie
Quiet song.
hanging out. And that was part of the reason, not just the stuff with Cecil. That was part of the reason why Simone don't like her, because she felt like she was taking her best friend on
Yeah,
some
that's
high
it.
school childish stuff.
Oh, girl.
Let's be clear.
She was. She
That's
did.
where this beef is from.
Yep.
That's part of the beef. She was
I
mad
think
that
that's the majority of the beef.
she was mad that Heavenly was going against Cecil, and yes, she was also mad at
Your
the
husband
fact
started
that
it first.
Dr. Jackie kind of co-signed a lot of things Heavenly did by not saying nothing.
Because your husband's a Mitch. And
I
he
think
started it first.
if
Also,
Dr. Jackie
the whole
and
Buffy
Heavenly didn't have that dynamic, Simone wouldn't have really cared so much about what she said about Cecil. I think that was just the icing on the cake. Like, you took my best friend is acting like she's riding with you, and you talking about my husband? Oh no.
And
But
the
Now,
then
Buffy situation. Don't forget about the Buffy situation. That had a lot to do with
who's
the
Buffy?
beginning
Buffy the
of
body?
no,
No, Buffy.
Buffy.
Buffy
the
that was on
other
the
lady
thing.
that was on the show as well. She was like a friend of the show.
Oh,
She was on the show like a couple seasons ago,
And
but
she's
oh,
still bitter about it.
yeah,
But
she's still mad about it.
but the
oh. Well,
the,
But
that's
that
the
good for her.
situation also was the beginning of the demise of Simone and Jackie. So it was
but
like a lot of things happened at once that kind of threw them
But
apart.
I think Simone didn't have Jackie's back as much as she would have because
Because Jackie
the
was
dynamic.
wrong.
No,
Jackie
but
was
as the dynamic that no, because Simone, let's be clear, Simone started all of that with Buffy.
Simone
Simone did
was
That's
the
not start
Simone.
one.
that. Simone did not start that.
Simone, Buffy
Simone broke
told
privilege.
Simone.
Simone
She
broke
did not
privilege
tell
when she
Jackie.
told Jackie.
Simone went and told Jackie.
Okay, doctors talk to each other. Let's be I know they're not supposed to, but doctors talk to each other and they do talk about the patients. Let's be clear.
Right, but as
We're
my
not supposed
if
to.
I was
So if
Buffy,
I
I'd be
told you
looking like, well,
something,
where did Dr. Jackie even get this information from?
but
You.
Dr. Jackie shouldn't have repeated it.
But even if she did repeat it, if she didn't have the information to repeat, it wouldn't be a problem. You told Simone went and told Dr. Jackie. But I do believe if Simone would have had Dr. Jackie's back a little more in that situation, if she didn't have that dynamic with Heavenly. That dynamic was already building with Heavenly, and Simone was side-eyeing it. She already saw it coming, like, this girl is coming in for my friend. She saw it. And that's why, because trust me, if Simone
That's
and
why
Dr.
they
Jackie
brought
were as
Buffy.
tight as they was when that Buffy situation happened, Simone would have been riding for Dr. Jackie, right or wrong. She would have
Yes,
been riding
because
for her.
that's why they brought Buffy on there because Simone saw that Heavenly and Dr. Jackie was
Right.
getting close to each
That's
other.
the
That's why
only
Buffy was
reason.
on
The
the show.
reason Simone was jealous, period, of their relationship that they were building. And she
Simone
saw
was
she
hurt.
saw it coming.
Simone
You
was
can
hurt,
see
not
it.
jealous.
When you have friends, it's a natural thing. When you have friends and you have a best friend, like her and Jackie was really close, and you see this other person coming in, starting to have lunch with them. She at the lunch table, we got our private lunch, whatever. What you doing here, Heavenly? You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to see that. You start to get these emotions. Some people take them stronger than others, but it's just natural. And you're human. You're gonna feel that little twinge, like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my friend a little bit. And she just probably went far left, like you wasn't even messing with her. And especially Heavenly, because Heavenly and Jackie was butting heads from the beginning. So it's like, Simone, if I was Simone, I'd have been looking at Dr. Jackie like, you didn't even like this hoe. So now all of a sudden you're best friends? Really? I would have felt some type of way too. But I think it went overboard. But their main beef was because of Heavenly.
But that's what Heavenly should say to Contessa and Toya now. Like, really? Y'all this close, but you were just on my show dragging her. Yeah, they Heavenly said they talk more than anybody. So she was probably dragging Toya to Heavenly then too. So Heavenly could have went a lot lower than she actually went.
This is true. If we think about the whole situation, the fact that Heavenly is more friends with, well, was more friends with Dr. Jackie and Contessa, and the fact that her and Contessa talk a lot. Let's be clear. What we saw on the live that they did together, or multiple lives they did together on their YouTube, was probably only maybe a tenth of what was said in private conversations. So, if I was Heavenly, I would have said, while y'all playing my greatest hits, y'all better play y'all's too, because y'all was down there talking about them with me. And then, hey, Contessa, since you got a problem and couldn't say nothing to me 5 months ago, why don't you run down every single thing you've said about each and every one of these women in this room and see how it pans out for you? Because if you got a problem with me saying something about you, then they should have a problem about you saying something about them. Because you can't just sit up here and be, okay, well, she didn't say anything about me and she's talking about everybody else. I don't have a problem with this. And then when she starts to talk about your situation that you let us in on, we wouldn't know nothing about this. She wouldn't know nothing about this if you didn't tell her anything and if it wasn't on the show. And we wouldn't know anything about this if you wasn't on the show and down to the social media spreading your business, spreading it low and spreading it wide, as in telling everybody everything that goes on in your household.
I
We
have a
wouldn't know none
question.
of this.
I have a question.
Sickly
And this is an honest question. Heavenly gets on her YouTube and she do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have Tacky Toya. I
Yep.
can't say Dr. Jackie because I haven't seen Dr. Jackie. But you also have Dr. Simone. They get down to the Twitter and be dragging too. So what's the difference? It's all social media platforms. What's the difference? Why is it okay for them to do it? and not Dr. Heaven.
I'm gonna say Dr. Heavenly crosses more boundaries than anybody else.
You
That's
can
what I feel. I feel
Talking,
like Dr. Heavenly
listen,
does cross the
but
boundaries.
you can't say, you can't tell me how to talk. You can't differentiate talking trash. Talking trash and dragging is talking trash and dragging, because I'm more lethal at it than you are. Either don't talk trash, period, if you have a problem with it, or step your game up, step your mouthpiece game up.
pick your coochie up and get out my face is basically what I'm
Right? Because
interpreting
I
as.
would have been confronted Heavenly if I was
Yeah.
Contessa. I would have been ran down on Heavenly and been like, "Look," because like no, somebody said, I think it was Nola. I think she didn't say as much as she could have, or what she knows. She really stuck to what we already
Mm-hmm.
saw. She really stuck to what we already saw. And yes, you probably feel like, dang, my friend that I mess with or whatever is talking about me. But it's all in the game. Like it's par for the course.
Mhm.
Like girl, like you could have, she didn't say nothing that you didn't put out there. You put out there. Your husband was acting abusive, and you was acting like an abused woman. Because I was looking through the TV like, blink if you okay, like if you need a safe house, because that's the way you were acting. Every time you would talk about what he does, and then when he come up like with the shut up and let's go, you, oh, I gotta go, guys. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop. Like you did this. You
Right.
put it out there.
I
Man,
agree.
I'm
But I
just so.
do want to go around in rotation and get everybody's final thoughts before we close out. I'm gonna start off with Nola. Anything that you want to say, finalizing?
My final thought is this: ain't none of these friendships real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna wait 5 months to tell my friend why I'm pissed off. You know when Heavenly said what she said on the internet.
Mhm.
You know when she said it, because if you wasn't watching it, somebody you know was watching it, heard about it, and told you about it. Guess what? She would have got called that day. It would have been
Toya
dealt
was
with.
watching it.
You know what I'm saying? It would have got dealt with that day. I feel the only person who legitimately has something to say is Toya, because she dragged the hell out of Toya. Now, as far as talking about her marriage, I've never seen, and I haven't seen all of Heavenly shows, but I've never seen Heavenly drag Eugene. Heavenly has said how he's tired, which we all say, and how Toya is working the hell out of that man, and she wrong. You know what I'm saying? But that's not her place, because her and Toya, y'all already in a bad space, and y'all co-workers. I don't consider them friends. I don't consider them friendly. You know what I'm saying? Not even in the least of a little bit. I feel like the only person who she has something to really drag about is, who has a leg to stand on, is Toya.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
can
it.
understand that.
Because you can't have it, you cannot have it both ways. And when you get up on somebody's platform to drag other people, you open up the door for yourself to be dragged, because
Mhm.
you now become accessible in the fact that you think that this is okay. If
Mhm.
it's not okay, it's not okay, period. And don't team up with somebody who don't like me. If we were supposed to be friends, you can be mad at me all day, but don't team up with just who don't like me and got a problem with me to try to confront me and then think it's supposed to go cool and copacetic. That's not cool. And that's why I could respect Dr. Heavenly when she told Simone to her face, you a flip flopper. You know what I'm saying? You helped them plan this, and that ain't right. In the intervention, if y'all used to watch that show on A&E, in intervention, everybody who was a part of the intervention
Knew
knew it
about it.
was gonna be an
Yeah,
intervention moment, and what they did was some bullshit.
I can
That's
agree. It
why
was
I would have
dumb.
left. I wouldn't have stayed. And that's it. I gotta drop down, y'all. Gotta go take my breathing treatment, but I love y'all. I'll be in the
Thanks
You
for
comments.
too,
stopping
Nola.
by.
See
Nola.
you
Oh
later,
yeah.
Nola.
If I hope you feel better soon. Hey, thick girl, what are your final thoughts on tonight's explosive episode of the
Well,
surprise party?
basically, what my sister just said, but Toya is, like I said the whole time I've been up here, Toya is the only person who has a real gripe with Heavenly Times. Nobody else up there, Simone nor Contessa, has the right to sit up there and try to pretend as if they wasn't with Heavenly Dragon people or didn't care about Heavenly Dragon people when it wasn't them. The Simone, we all know y'all relationship is retarded as hell, so I see why she called you a flip flopper. But y'all beef was not started by her. It was started by you and your husband. and then you saw your friend leaving, so it made you even more not liking her. So that's why you would with whatever they wanted to do with her, because you still haven't forgiven her all the way. Your friendship is getting better with Jackie, but you still blame Heavenly for it being shattered and it being taken away. So therefore, that's why you did this. You might talk to this lady, but you're not friends with her, and you don't care about her. So that's why you went with it. Contessa, shut up. Shut the hell up.
Yeah,
Shut
she's
up.
gonna get on
Do
my
something
nerves.
on the pad or get the hell off of it, because you're on my last nerve. Are you gonna be with this man? If you're gonna be with this man, be with this man. Shut up. Find something else. Use another storyline. This ain't this, sis. This ain't this. This lady can't nobody break up a whole damn marriage that's between two goddamn people. I hate when so everybody say other people broke up your damn marriage. Only people that can break up a marriage is the two people that took vows that day to one another. No way can nobody else break up your marriage. If you didn't put people in your marriage, they wouldn't be in your marriage. If you didn't learn nothing else from Heavenly, you should have learned that Daddy Damon is off limits and Daddy Scott should be off limits as well. Stop talking about y'all men if you don't want nobody to talk about your men. Toya talked about her money problems. We all see that she works that man to death, so we can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't talk about it, we can't talk about it. Stop looking for storylines. Worry about your damn kids, because, like Ricardo said, sweetie, you would hate to look up one day and realize your kids don't never come and visit your old ass. And that would be a hell of a damn feeling that my
Especially
kids
that
don't
little
want to
one.
be
That little
around
one
me.
ain't no joke.
Exactly, because of the decisions I made to keep a check. Is it worth a check or your family? Is this check worth your family? Point blank. That's what it all comes down to. And if it ain't worth it, stop putting your family problems on display, because we can't talk about nothing we don't know about. Find something else.
She should know better being a doctor, but I find doctors they have a lot of book sense, but sometimes lack common sense. But
Yeah,
renting,
they're the ditziest, smartest people ever.
yeah, I totally see it every day. I understand. Hey, Ranted, what are your final thoughts on tonight's episode?
Um, child, let me tell you this. I preface this with saying, if you treat my friend badly, family member, friend, whoever they are to me, you treat them badly, and I see it and they tell me about it, let me tell you something that's up and it's stuck from that point on. I don't like you and I'm never gonna call you by your name. You're gonna be the raggedy batch who hurt my friend, or the crusty, musty, dusty, not so trusty one that I can't stand. And when they talk about you to me, I'ma listen. But let's be clear, when we're in the same room, you better keep it cute and keep it mute, because I'm not the one. Contessa, I I already told you what you got to do, but you ain't gonna do it. So I can't. I'm gonna just tell you this: wear another plastic wig like that again, and I'm gonna come down there and I'm gonna wreck shop. If I was Heavenly, I would have tore up that house. I don't care how good of a doctor I am. I don't care how much money I'm making. I don't care what my social status is supposed to be. The fact that y'all, first of all, an intervention, the people involved in the intervention, other than the person they having it about, everybody must know. So Nola was right. It was not only an ambush on Heavenly, it was an ambush on everybody up in there
It
who
was a
didn't know.
surprise party.
It was
It
an
was
ambush, but
A surprise ambush party.
okay, we're gonna say it like that. I would have wrecked shop. I would have tore up that whole house, and like I said, she would have got dog walked in her own house, and I'm snatching that wig off and burning it, because it was horrendous. Like, why are you subjecting me to this mess on top of your head? For the rest of the ladies, Toya, yeah, of course, she dog walk you verbally every chance she gets, so I can see why it be up and it's stuck with y'all. But Simone, just because you want to play high school games and your little friend got stolen by somebody else, let's be clear, everybody got multiple friends. You're not supposed to be your friend's only friend. I have multiple friend groups, and I don't mix the friend groups because I figure, some of y'all not gonna get along, okay? And that's what the situation is. The only difference is the reason why the friend group with Miss Dr. Jackie got mixed is because y'all on the same show. Now you got upset. Your husband said something. He got dragged. It's up and it's stuck with him every time I see him. So you teamed up with them to have an intervention on somebody, an ambush, a surprise party, whatever we gonna call it, and you really don't have a problem with this lady. And Contessa, 5 months you waited, and 5 months you can wait some more, because at this point, if you're not gonna say anything to me after I've already said my piece, then you ain't got nothing else to say to me. It's a storyline, it's a scheme that them raggedy ass stepsisters and a raggedy ass stepmama down to the Real Housewives of Atlanta set up, and I don't want to hear about it no more. find a new storyline, get you a new man, get out of my face. And for everybody else, I ain't got nothing else to say because Toya needs to get a damn job. She needs to get a hobby, something that's gonna make money. And the fact that she has a skincare line and it's not promoted, we all promote our stuff any chance we get, and we promote
Wait, Toya
everybody.
has a skincare line?
Yeah, Nola brought it up
That's what
earlier.
Shady said.
I didn't say that.
No,
No, that's what Nola said.
Nola brought it up.
Nola said that.
I didn't know she had a line.
Nola brought it up that she has a skincare line,
Wow.
and that Dr. Heavenly was promoting all their businesses on the episode recap review is what I call them. The episode previous on her YouTube channel to this episode that just aired, and she was promoting it. And that Nola said this, that she told Toya, you can have a whole situation down to the beauty supply store like Dr. Jackie had down there too, but she didn't do that. So you mean to tell me you got a whole business and you sit up here and you make a fake mess and be looking like trash in your confessionals? Because I looked at that hairstyle and I said it's a mess. And I told y'all her leave out was peeking out during that what's that fashion show, hair show?
Not the leave out, peek out.
It was. The leave out was peeking out. And I was like, if you gonna do it right. Blend it to the gods, okay? The girls down to the TikTok can teach you how to do it, okay? Because I'm going to learn how to lay me a lace, okay? I'm going to learn how to do that. If nothing else, I'm going to learn how to do that. You have a whole business and you don't promote it. We all promote our businesses on here. And we promote everybody else's stuff.
She by Sheree.
I know
and she ain't got
Sheree promotes what she ain't got, and Toya got it and don't promote it.
And that's
These women are backwards as fuck.
I even promote other people's stuff. Like I legit, right before I got off my own live last night and went over to Nola's to watch the P Valley review, I said, and y'all go check out these people. We all promote our own stuff. We promote everybody else's stuff. We promote people who are not even up on YouTube. And we tell y'all to go check them out. And you mean to tell me you sitting up here working your husband to death to the point where this man is telling you he's not happy and he wants to stop working in the ER, and y'all living like nomads, moving every few months, and you got a whole business? You know what? I don't care. Heavenly could drag her. I don't care no more. She could drag her. I don't care if she got a problem with Heavenly.
Toya makes it easy.
Toya makes it real easy.
Drag her.
She makes it easy, but I still like Toya sometimes. Sometimes
tell her to get better.
You can have a valid point, but considering who you are, like don't nobody respect you because you don't work and all you do is complain and spend money. Like that's
right. I like Toya, but I think Toya just needs to know her position and play it.
At least Anila blogs. So
she have a position.
No, her position is not having a position. So that's what she needs.
Yes, that's what it is. No position, no job, no nothing.
Like just play your position. Like
just call her ain't got.
Did y'all see Toya hair in the confessional? Y'all know what that hairstyle is supposed to be? y'all seen the WAP video?
I've seen it, but it's been a while.
Okay, that hairstyle is supposed to be Cardi's hairstyle.
The swoop in the bun?
No, where it's got like the bangs, and then it looks like it's like the hair is like a chain link going down the back.
Oh,
when she in the chair doing the
that's
little.
Supposed to be Cardi's hairstyle.
I don't cook. I don't clean.
That's what that's.
I have to go back and look at it.
No, I know what she's talking about.
I gotta go look at that too.
The hair.
I know exactly what she's talking about in the video.
Yes.
When she was in the chair.
Loop down.
Yeah, when she was in the room, in that room, and
that's what that hairstyle's supposed to look like.
Oh my God, I would have never guessed.
And it looked cheap. It looked like you just had somebody's child put that in your hair who don't even really know how to do hair. And let me tell you something. You go get down with the TikTok girls because they will teach you how to do your own hair because they will not be paying these ridiculous prices for these people who want to do hair and braid and ain't got no license, okay? Your hair look a mess. You can't dress. You have a business and don't promote it. Why is she doing this to me? Like, what? Like, she is really upsetting me and my homegirls.
Oh, Lord, not the homegirls upset.
Where you was at yesterday, Shady? Where was you at yesterday, Shady? We was up on the live yesterday.
I am sorry.
I just told them about it when the show opened. I told everybody that was here. I had a good
told me about it like when we got on. I'm sorry I missed it. I was like,
yeah, where was y'all? Because
I was there.
They said
Mace was there. Mace was in the comments.
I know Mace.
I asked her, did she want to come up?
Thick Girl went live. I went live.
But I'm gonna try to make the next.
I missed yours because I fell asleep. Ranta. I'm gonna go back and watch it though tonight. And I woke up. When I woke up, Nola was on. I came on, but she was about to go off. I called her and so Deb doing P Valley.
Mhm.
We was up until late in the midnight hour.
Late in the morning. But Mace, like, what are your final thoughts on tonight's episode?
I think Contessa has not a leg to stand on. The only one that needs to be flipping out is Toya. Dr. Jackie needs to calm down with the guard complex. Girl, you are not all that. Quad, relax, Quad. Like, you cute, but girl, don't be talking about you the prettiest one in the room.
I mean,
like, she was, but don't say it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you feel it, it's just kind of, uncomfortable for you to say it. And you said it like, and what it was just, it just made the room uncomfortable.
But Jackie, I don't know why you had a problem. Group, there's no problem. You should not have had a problem with that.
And
girl.
I think, Heavenly should have wowed out.
The of the ball. Get out of here.
Heavenly, as soon as she found out it was intervention after she stopped laughing, she should have wowed out and showed them that she's a city girl from the 305.
She should have
wowed out.
She should have tore up that room and said, "Now send me the bill because you know I'm good for it," and walked out.
And she should have pushed low-key, like elbowed Simone, like, and act like she didn't mean to hurt her. But boom, she should have elbowed her right in her teeth. Like, wow. And then told her she'll fix them for her.
Now you gotta come to me so she can fix it.
I wanted Simone, like, the only thing that I will take from the episode, the surprise party. I felt like it could have went
the surprise ambush party.
It was a surprise party. It was a movie night. It was a surprise movie night. Some people was upset because they was featured in the role and they didn't want to be featured. But I'm not a fan of Heavenly all the time. Like, she's funny and everything, but how long are you gonna laugh at your friend's expense? Like to me, it's.
At least she ain't saying your mama this season yet.
Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
I think that was saved for Mariah. I think that was, only for Mariah, and
she did it with Toya too, and she did it with Lisa.
I think she doesn't like them. Like, I think she doesn't like them. So it's like, ooh, your mama. I'm a really make you mad.
Right. What do they have in common? That she doesn't like them. What do they have in common?
Well, Heavenly needs to understand. Just because you now have friends at your rightful age of almost 50, if not 50. You're still no Mariah Huck. You will never be a Mariah Huck. You wanted her off this show to think that you could be that girl. Mariah is Mariah, and there's only one Mariah. So, girl,
I just
enjoy your little fame, your little time. Enjoy your little beauty store, and stop it, because you be doing too much a lot of the times. Girl, this is not your show. You're not the headliner.
That's a little beauty store. That's gonna make her a good chunk of change. Okay. She can pass that down.
Yeah, it sure will. So go right there and enjoy it, and stop trying to think that you're the belle of your no.
But Dr. Heavenly, since they said that you grew up without friends and you really didn't go outside, I'm gonna tell you what you got to do. Okay?
She said it. She has said it on her live. That's where I got it from.
I was getting into it. I was like, the people said that you ain't had no friends and you ain't go outside. So let me tell you what I've been prescribing all the girlies down to all the shows that I be reviewing, from the scripted and unscripted. You need to get you some therapy so you can unlearn that trauma and find very coping, healthy mechanisms to actually have real lasting friendships with people in your big age.
Well, actually, she was getting therapy because she did go see that weird looking man that dressed in a suit that looked like she need
a black woman therapist. She need a black woman therapist.
Heavenly, remember when Heavenly was getting therapy? Because that was when they did the road trip to Florida, and that's when she revealed how she was in the room. And
she thought she was here because she's the relationship guru. Get out of here.
That therapist man that she was seeing that was down in the house?
Nope. She need a black.
He was kind of weird.
You need to go back.
I don't think she needs to go back to him, but I'm just saying that she did attempt.
She need to go to the doctor from Huntsville, Mace. She need to go to that doctor.
This is what she
needs. Dr. Francis. She need Dr. Francis.
Dr. Francis wouldn't work for her. She would need a black woman therapist who can really get to her level and really talk to her and help her work through her issues.
But you know what? It got to be somebody who's
Dr. Francis is
very smart and very well established and very well known for Heavenly to even consider their advice.
And that's why I said Dr. Francis.
Dr. Francis is the man. She would want to listen.
At them and think that I'm smarter than you. So you don't know what you're talking about.
She's not Dr. Francis. If he can give a damn Tisha a aha moment, Dr. Francis is the man.
But that's the difference between the people that we not going to talk about until September and what we talking about now. Tisha needed like Humpwig, because I'm not saying your name. I don't like you, ma'am. Humpwig needed that aha moment because she is moving and
Yeah,
living
she
just like
needed it,
a
and that means he can
she
help
is moving.
Heavenly.
She's moving and living just like Contessa. The difference between with Heavenly, going to Dr. Francis or finding her a well like established, well renowned black woman therapist who is really gonna get down into her level and can really think, is because that woman is going to be able to, kind of sympathize slash empathize with her just a little bit, because they are two black women. They are very well educated, they are very successful, and then because she can respect her on that level, she's going to get her to dig deeper into
Yeah.
herself. With Dr. Francis,
Uh,
while he may be well respected, he's a man, and we've seen how Dr. Heavenly operates when it comes to talking to men.
Yeah,
It's
she
not
does need a woman. I'm with you on that one. She does need a
I don't
woman.
care who it is, Dr. Heavenly.
The
Dr.
woman
Heavenly will
has to
still
be
think she's the
smart
smartest
as
woman
her
in the
or smarter.
building.
I also think Quad should get Mason into some therapy, not because anything's wrong with Mason. I love him. He a little old man. He is great. He's amazing. Let him be him. Let him be a kid. But the fact that he
Let
lost
him
his
be a man. Because he's
the,
giving man.
He's
he's
sick.
giving look he giving little old man, but because his father has passed away
Yeah,
and he
it's
don't know
just so
what.
it's like he's not fresh. That's the
Yeah,
thing. He's not fresh because I do not like a fresh grown kid. I will beat.
no,
Mm-hmm.
I
he's
don't.
an old.
I cannot. Don't even side eye me. He just gives like, oh, little old man. Like, where you going? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like he's
But,
been here before, and he's
yeah,
probably like he's an old soul, and he's
yeah,
probably been here before, and I believe in that. But he needs, when I say he needs therapy, is not because something's wrong with that child. It's because he's lost his father at such a young age, and then
yeah.
we don't know. Like I don't, what happened to his mother? I don't know, because I just recently started watching the show. So if
Yeah,
he's
we
like,
Nobody knows.
nobody
They
knows.
never said.
so
They never said what happened to the mom.
like I would say put him into therapy just so he could work through those things, because this is going to come up again
Yeah, and
as he
it'll come
gets
back.
older. It's going to manifest, and you don't want that type of stuff just like sitting and bubbling on the surface, and you didn't try to, get ahead of it. Other
I'm
than
pretty
that,
sure she got him in therapy because Quad seems like she's on the ball. She not
Speaking of
like
speaking
Marlo
of
and
kids,
gonna
I
ask him
gotta
do
go
he
beat
want.
somebody right now, so we gotta close out.
okay,
I
I
want to
got to go
thank
watch Basketball Wives.
because I gotta go beat somebody. I'm gonna
Not beat.
Oh
I,
Lord,
yeah.
hold up, Mason. It is 11:08.
It's a
Where's you going this time
possibility.
of night?
It's a possibility I may have to beat somebody. It's 11:08, so I'll be probably beating them from 11:30 to 12. So on that note, I would like to thank
Let
everybody
us
who
know if you
came
need some
out to hang
backup.
out with us. Who we have in the chat? CC, J Rucka, Jessme,
Thank you, Nola,
Kimmy,
for jumping on.
Oshina,
earlier.
Nola. Who
Thanks
else?
to everybody who has jumped
Yes,
in the
Chris
chat with us
Maxwell for holding
tonight.
it down in the chat.
We're happy to have you, and we'll be back on tomorrow at 8:30 for Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes, I can't
I
wait.
can't wait for this one.
me
So we
either.
will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good evening and be safe.
All
Y'all
right,
too. Be safe.
y'all be safe.
Be careful, Mace.
Hey guys, hope you're having a good time. By the way, don't forget, hit that like button. And if you're liking, you might as well subscribe. And drop a comment below. Come on guys, let's get into it.